Heyo, let's go. We're going to be seeing an absolute battle here today. As you said it, this is an elimination match, so it is all on the line today. Team French Power taking on Team Missclick, and you know what? I'm absolutely here for it. It's a best of three, and I'm hoping it goes the whole distance.
I'm hoping it goes there too. Looks like my mic exploded there for a second, but should be good to go now. I'm really excited. Best of three, always fun. And you talk about the high stakes that we got an elimination matchup, a best of three. It's all there in front of us here today. So I'm hoping we go all three. I want to see some good Rainbow Six Siege.
That's right. And so I guess because we're kind of getting close, we're getting into it already. Let's find out where the heck we're going for this best of three, right? I mean, we got quite a journey to be had on. If you want to take us through those.
Yeah, for sure. Starting off with some of the bands Oregon, Bank, Chalet, Consulate, and all those taken out of the pool. We're not playing any of those, but the first we are going to is Night Haven. So nice little flat, more not vertical map, but can approach it from that horizontal way. And then it's going to be the pick on the other side, Cafe. So what do you think about these two first picks?
I gotta tell you, Night Haven is my absolute current favorite map
Okay.
in the current pool. Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything, right? It's got the potential for the quick plan. It's got the two-floor execution. It's got the multi-level vertical play to be had. And the thing that I love the most is it adds a sense of variety. This is a map that
Yeah.
we can see picks like Cav being pulled out, or the off picks. We'll see Vigil maybe coming out for the Rome game. I'm super excited about it. And then on the other side of the board, we take it to Cafe. It's a giant square, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of can be related to in that same sense of Skyscraper. It could be a little tough to get into the map. Definitely going to be attack or a struggle for the team that does not have a well-to-do and a well put together attack side.
It's very true. Very different though, like you mentioned. We got kind of the more smushed horizontal map, and then we got the vertical map, of course. And it's gonna be Clubhouse to end us off on. So lots of exciting nature. If we do get to that third one, kind of has the same type of feel to Night Haven, but a little bit closer put together. So I'm very excited. And like you said, there's a lot of creativity that can come from these first two maps. You can for Cafe specifically, if you're going top to bottom, it's usually how people do it. But, I'd like to see some creative strategies. I mean, this is an elimination matchup. You better pull out all the tricks.
That's right. A little bit of pocket strats. And where can we probably see that on? I bet you we're going to see some off picks here on the Night Haven, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of target bans, maybe a couple. You're right. It's do or die, and we're going to live by that for these first two maps. So I think pull out something special, pull out something we ain't seen just yet. Pull out those strats that are going to throw you off and make the casters go, okay, I'm going to write that down, right?
I got my notepad ready. I'm ready to go to write down all of those picks, but I'm excited to see. We also had some predictions for today's matchup. So let's take a look at those. Now, I'm going to tell you, Whiskey, it is looking like it is kind of one sided.
A bit one-sided. One team having a little bit better of a go this season. Team Missclick coming across for all of the talent that has made the prediction. But hey, that doesn't mean that that's going to go this way, right? That doesn't mean that we're going to see a one-sided battle. I think because it's elimination, that's where the magic happens, right? So I'm thinking that maybe French Power, they're pulling out the stops today.
We'll have to see. I mean, always that underdog, which, like we talk about, is where you don't have that pressure on your back. You can kind of make those creative strategies, and nobody's going to make fun of you for it. They're just going to say, okay, that was kind of interesting. On the other side, you have a team that has all the pressure on them. You have all the fans on your back that if you make a single mistake, they're going to be like, why'd you do that, man? We need you to win the series.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take a. I guess we can. Is that what we're looking at here? Production is the next stage up. We're going to take a look at how stage one went down while we're waiting for uh, the match to get started. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, beautiful Swiss, by the way. I love the Swiss format. So many different esports now kind of developing more into the Swiss. But yeah, nice kind of final elimination match. I got to cast some of the Fenix and some of that upper bracket earlier, but it's nice to see these elimination matchups as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there we are. There you have it. There you see it. And I believe, if I'm hearing that correctly, that the game is coming to you. It's Team Misclick taking on French Power as we go to Night Haven for map number one.
It's gonna be exciting. Oh, I cannot wait. Of course, it is gonna be one round given over, I believe, to Team Missclick just because of a little bit of the timing that the French squad joined a little bit late. So starting with a round advantage, and they're gonna be starting on the attack side as well. You mentioned that you have creativity here, but defenders, if you are this French squad, need to be very careful you don't drop a couple rounds early. You gotta make sure not to start in this deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we did start that one round up, real quickly, just go over the bans that we didn't see. It is going to be on the side of the attackers,
Oh.
a Jackal Thermite ban. Jackal, of course, huge for this map, as you can just turn those glasses on, take one peek inside a room, see that a defender hasn't been there, and move out, room cleared. But on the other side of it, this is kind of an interesting pick. We're going to force you to take that breach from a distance, as the Thermite was taken off the board. Kind of an interesting pick. I mean, definitely we see the hard breach being banned off is the ace a lot. Excellent gun, long distance to be able to put your gadgets in place, but the Thermite could be a potential target ban here.
I like the Thermite ban, personally one of my favorites to kind of get in towards those sites, but we'll have to see how much that does affect it. Of course, starting on the attacking side, we've got still some good breach, and I'm looking at solo TM. Again, with that skeleton key, you have the opportunity to not only open up sights, but also you can switch to that close range shotgun if you see your opponents kind of peeking out or getting a little bit too aggressive. We got the Azami and the Mira on the defensive side, so that creativity has to be there for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a staple for Nighthaven, I'd say, is that Azami Mira combo. And it's going to be utilized and supported with the mute. I'm going to try to stop some of that intel from coming in. The only breach denial for this backside is not going to be utilizing the bandits. Pushing directed towards that main breach. They're going to open it up, start to take a look inside.
See if they can find a early sort of pressure on in. Feel like just biding their time. Again, nice little 3 minutes, a minute already off the clock, just trying to break in slowly and not trying to give over one of those picks. Because, like you said, specifically looking at the mute, look at the Wamai, you're talking about things that could possibly stop that entrance and make it not an easy task for those attackers to get in. But half this round already gone, and the breach is coming on through. Solo TM, this is what we said, trying to break on in with that extra shotgun at close range, and Pizza already opening it up with a pick.
All right, and that's the body balance going to be shifted in favor of the attacking team, and it's going to get equalized. Gojo going to find the dome piece of Nui, and then to be, oh my lord, and it's just falling apart here. Pizza finally stopping that reign of terror by taking Gojo off the board. The quick trade now takes it into a 3v1. It's all resting on the shoulders of the Maverick.
Surely they heard that footstep, though. Yeah, they're definitely going to hear those bullets. Wait for him to see it. Pump the flashbang and hopefully push him away. But the problem is the flank is coming through. Really well played from the defenders, and already with the BM here. But yeah, the teamwork making the dream work. Like you said, as soon as they tried to break on in, the pincer angles were there. And the French squad is going to be able to equalize out this game.
Yeah, well, that's a quick victory there. Well, quick is not quite the right word, as we are living in that 20-second meta currently, but it was definitely a decisive win as they were able to keep more than half their members alive towards the end of the round and equalize it as you said it. So round 3 now is going to see us taken down to the assembly area, tank assembly area. And we're going to lean a little bit into the intel as we see both the Valkyrie and the Mozzie being utilized.
Like the intel, like the location as well picked up here for the French squad, but I have to see once again what our attacking side can do. Again, when you think of Nighthaven, most maps you feel like a little bit more defender-sided, but bringing in some of that, again, like we said, you talk about the Mira, you talk about it's half creativity, but creating those angles in which you have the greater peaks against your opponents, and they did that. They did it really well, but we'll have to see how they do without either of those two picks we were talking about.
Yeah, kind of a standard that you see for this tank assembly area. But, not to be dismayed. On the other side of it, not going to be really leaning in towards that hard breach again. We don't have any on the board outside of the Maverick being utilized here. Yes, we've got soft breach. We still have the skeleton key. We still have the verticality of the ram to be on the board. But really, they're going to be looking at clearing out the roam with the Dokbi and then a little bit more sight direct down some of the more traditional means of entry. Maybe those stairs and those doorways.
Yeah, We'll have to see if they can kind of get control of this second floor. I think, like you mentioned, you have the ramps. If you can work vertically from top to bottom, take those more side angles as Rises tries to take a little side angle peek here in the command center, but won't be able to hit it. Nice first trade, though, as the first point of contact comes through. And Solo TM being one of the first to be dropped with that skeleton key in the back pocket doesn't feel the greatest. 4v4 immediately equalized, and the trades are coming through. And it's nice for Nui TM being able to take down possibly 2 picks that are going to shut them down the entrances onto the site. And they still have tons of time here to work with, Whiskey.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. 2 minutes still on the board.
Oh.
Lion going to break a rule number 1 and somehow live to tell the tale about it. He is in a low health scenario, but they have got the body balance in a very heavy way. So now, minute and 40 left. It's going to be the bunker back down to site. Try to find 1 or 2 picks, equalize that scoreline, and stop it. But you know the attack team here. They're just going to open it up and try to create themselves a fish in a barrel situation.
Try and solidify this position from top to bottom. Again, from the ram, from being able, like you said, to be able to get those side angles. And they still have a minute 15, so they're chilling. But the problem is that on the other side, the defense, they still do have 2 players. So if they can work together, they are full HP. They take this slow. Who knows what could happen? And Kwanga going to be able to take that pick without losing a single point of HP. So chilling, as you can see on the other side for Team Missclick, they are taking some HP damage here or there. It's another down with the nitrous cell charge, and we're in a 2v2 scenario.
Just like that. Equalized, my friend. We find ourselves, you said it, in a 2-2, and now in a 2-1, as they're going to bring this all the way back. And now with 38 seconds left, time is in their favor. Maverick put on the back foot. Strat in the bin. Gonna have to redirect, come down the back stairs, hopefully catch one, slip in, and be able to take that 1v1 gunfight on.
Which you would love to see. However, only 20 seconds left to go. The pickup of the diffuser is going to be huge. That angle could be forced, but again, the defenders just aren't biting. They know if they don't push, they can just win this round by pure timing, by pure angles, clearing out everything. Some more utility trying to come on through, but it is just too little, too late for Nui and the rest of the team, unless they can get the diffuser down. And Zayrino perfectly timing it for that last second swing. I love the timing play. Again, this was a 4v2 that they transferred to a win.
Yeah, that was definitely not the attack or the defense, or excuse me, that was definitely not the attack team going out and losing that round. That was for sure the individual heroics of the 2 defenders left alive, bringing that win back into their back into the clutches. And so with that, we're going to get to see the tertiary site being played here. Control storage, arguably, probably statistically one of the better sites to be had, right? I love seeing the castle being brought out here. He's probably one of my favorite players. And we'll see him utilized for that top floor extension. Super huge, and for this is that all of that floor is soft breach above the 2 sites. So you know there's going to be a huge dedication to claiming that 2F real estate.
Definitely is, and especially you talk about Team Missclick running the Ram in that previous round. Gotta say, one of my personal favorite operators, but kind of preparing for that, setting yourself up for success. And you talk about not only the castle, but the Mira again to create some of these really good one-way angles. They've also got the Wamai, so look out for Gojo to try and go on some of these roams. It has been late round heroics from the French squad, but you know, to have more roam potential at the start of these rounds doesn't hurt.
Yep. Absolutely. Going to be a bit of a standard setup on the side of the attack. The one kind of highlight pick that I'd like to point out is the Dokkaebi on the board, right? We see her banned out at a staggering 75 to 80% of the time. Just a huge gadget, huge gun, and not going to be the case here because we went with that Jackal and Thermite ban. So pull her out. Let's use her. Solo to find the first on to Gojo. So that's going to give the body balance tipped in favor of the attackers.
It's also huge, because not only do they get the player advantages like you talk about, but you're talking about Solo not dying at the start of the round. No offense, but 2 rounds in a row, dropping early in those first 2 played rounds. Of course, we had that round advantage given over. So now they've got Solo alive. What they can do with the skeleton key, we will have to see. Again, those castle walls will make it a little bit tough, but Pizza clearing things out too. Now they've got a 2-player advantage. Vod clearing all the way down through the control room and has a nice little side angle to try and hit this pincer.
Okay, and there's going to be the first one. Konski going to get taken off the board, and now if I'm French Power, I'm feeling okay. You know, we just won a 2v4. Now it's a
Yeah.
3v4. We got an extra man in this. This is our round to lose here. That's going to be one taken off the board. Is Fod going to find that kill? Riddle the body full of bullets. Now puts us into a 4v2. Hey, this looks familiar.
It does look familiar, but now it's an even harder scenario. 1v4, gonna see a little bit of the shoulder blade going through, but that Lion's Roar really did put them in a bad scenario. Rises, though, not done yet. Wanting to look for a possible 4-piece here at the end of the round. Unfortunately, no control over the site, so I'm gonna have to assume that diffuser is going down here soon, but he's just got the spray, he's got the double. He's looking for it all. He's got the crosshair placement to try and match it, but 60 seconds left to go. Again, that diffuser could be going down at any moment. This kind of upwards, downwards, 1-2 punch is what they're trying to do, but that diffuser is down, and now the French are on a timer.
Yep, it's a post-plant scenario. Got to have 7 seconds left on the board. Oh, my Lord, on the triple kill. Now into the 1v1 showdown. Here's the problem. It's got to jump out the window. He's going to go for the long arm, potentially on the defuse here. Now, might be covered up, letting him try to stick it. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Oh, and he should have stuck it, and instead he's going to forfeit his life. Is Pizza going to rest easy and take that win for his team?
I mean, come on, Whiskey. What do we say? Pros don't fake, man. Don't fake. Just stick it, man. You would have had it, but jumps out the window there. Looks like possibly Team Missclick having a player disconnected. But either way, a great round. And gotta say, it was scary because they almost got 1v4, but they got the defuse planted perfectly.
Yeah, almost did it again. And I mean, that's just speaking of the caliber of players that we're seeing here, right? This is it kind of doesn't matter who's gonna be doing it. It's twice in a row. We did see the 2v4 comeback clutch, and then we almost saw the 1v4. Would have been it if he stuck it, would have been another clutch scenario, and that would have put French Power back on top.
It would have. But unfortunately for them, we're all tied up now, 2-2. In terms of overall one rounds, though, you can kind of say as the French squad, okay, we've only actually lost one round. That first round given over by that kind of late show up. So, we have been winning on the defensive side. They've been playing really well. I do gotta say though, it feels like Team Missclick is starting to learn their strategies. That they're saying, if you're staying stagnant, that's okay. We'll just toss utility in there. We'll take a couple picks, and then by the end of the round, we'll just pop all these utility pieces that force you to stay static. The Lion's Roar. Then you aren't even moving, or else you're gonna get detected. So beautiful stuff. Of course, still tied up 2-2, and a lot of Rainbow Six still to play.
Boy, I think that's the word, and I'm going to underline it. You're talking adaptation, baby. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Strat's only going to work so long, especially when you have caliber players like this. We're built for that adaptation. And sure, that's the test. That's the true first test, is the tertiary site. But being up in the 2 rounds, they've already hit their quota, right? For talking standard split here, we're putting us on that 4-2. Then they've already done it. Anything outside of this is going to be icing on the cake.
That's very true. Yeah, you've already got your 2 rounds. If you get any more, it starts to get a little bit worrisome for that French squad. Of course, again, you got to kind of think in the back of your mind. It's hard to look at the scoreboard and say, "Oh, we gave up those 2 rounds." But you have to just think, "Okay, we only actually gave up one of those rounds." I think we have this locked down. We just got to solidify our strategy. Those adaptations that you mentioned, change things up a little bit more, and then just maybe we can bring that 4-2 up.
Okay, so one thing that we did not get to mention because we just jumped straight into it, it was the defensive bans, right? Solus, Fenrir. I mean, not much to really say on it. It is like the pretty much the standard here. It removes that intel. It removes that late round push stoppage that the Fenrir can bring along. But what it did leave is the Valkyrie, the Mira, and the Azami on the board. Those are those 3 power players, and we've seen them for the most part here. I mean, I honestly, I think the bands are pretty great. I was hoping to see a little bit more of the variety there, right? The thermite, that was good, right? You have to create potentially vaultable breaches, which is always annoying. But I was hoping for something a little more.
I mean, you were talking about it though there in the middle of the round. No dough could be banned. I mean, like something like 80% banned in all matches. So surprised that that made its way through. I mean, I think you think of Fenrir just very annoying, I'd have to say. So I actually really like that one. But there are a lot of other things that we see on the board that, like the Mira, that I think it's given these defenders a lot of those one ways, a lot of those really good pincer angles that you think maybe if you take that on the bans instead, could be a different story.
Yeah. So it looks like taking a little bit longer here than we had anticipated to get them back in. So we're going to take ourselves a quick break, sit back, relax, because when we come back, I'm going to bring you the rest of this map. Ayo.
Welcome back. Still here at the ESA Cup for our lower bracket elimination match here in the Swiss lowers. Still Llama and Whiskey up here in the casting booth. And Whiskey, we got a 2-2 tied up Nighthaven map.
Hey, you know what? It's exactly what you want to see for an elimination, right? Both teams firing on all cylinders, not willing to give up any of that real estate. And that's exactly what we got going on here. The story writes itself. David versus Goliath here.
And one of those Goliaths has the entire fan vote behind them too. So we'll have to see how this map continues to flow. Like we mentioned before the break, 2 rounds already acquired for Team Missclick. Anything else they get from here on out will be an extra success. But we're going back to that Azami Mira as we talked about before.
Yep, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? If it's working, let's use it again. They haven't found it. The only problem is Team Missclick has already shown that they have some adaptation in them, that they're able to adapt on the fly. So I imagine they're probably going to bring a little something more solid to the attempt on this one. I love the Azami pick, especially for that exact same thing you see on Clubhouse, holding down that catwalk area. I would have liked to see maybe a Monty on the board, maybe start pushing up and taking that real estate, but they don't need it. They're just going to take Bandit off the board early, get the body balance into their favor, and lay it out from here.
Like the start, I think back-to-back rounds now here for this Team Missclick squad. They've been able to get those early picks, but you look at the breach, they've got so much of it here in their back pocket. We'll have to see where they do choose to go as some of these rotations making their way on in. And we gonna pop down the drone as well to try and grab some extra information and grab that on back. But yeah, again, Fod didn't take too much damage either is the nice thing. So being able to continue to break on in here has some pressure here with their teammate nearby.
Yeah, oh, and there's going to be the shot as it's cool to see Ash taken off the board, sends quickly to follow, and it is just falling apart for this attacking team as Floor is the next to fall. It's a 3v1, but on the opposite side of the board now. This is a tough position, a tough hill to climb back from, and there is a chance at recovery, I believe. Yep, there he is. But it's going to be dangerous to do so. Nobody there to take that gun battle, so they're going to get that in relative ease.
Tough one for sure. They get it though, like you said. Luckily, it's a res enough here. We'll see if that diffuser can be. Okay,
oh.
we're just hitting headshots out here. We're just
rough.
We're just clapping skulls.
That's just one tapping.
Oh, 2v2. Nice little transition. Minute 15 left on the clock here. Health bar not great for Fod as Zerino again playing the mirror on the wall. Is gonna get some utility right to the face, but prepared and waiting for this push to come through, watching on the site. And towards this left angle, it's just so hard for the attackers to push on through, especially when we've seen this French power squad clutch up so many times. And, you know, they've won a 2v4. They almost won a 1v4. You'd have to assume they have the advantage in a 2v2.
Yeah, that would be my guess. That is for sure. So here's this push starting to come. It's going to be Mute checking that flank, which was so prevalent on the last round. It's a good thing he did because he's going to find one. Now takes us into a 2v1. Cleaned up by the Vector on the headshot as Nui falls. And that's going to be another for the defense. And now, not wholly unexpected, right? This is a defensive-sided map. And it's still coming down to some pretty crazy situations. However, the defense is actually looking really freaking good, on point. They're not making those simple mistakes, and it's reflecting in the scoreline.
100%. I mean, like we said, we kind of hop back to the statistic of played rounds here in this first map. It is only 3-1, right? You only gave over one of those actual rounds. The second round was given over because of that penalty for showing up late. But I gotta say, really, really good static nature after, again, like you mentioned, that they're just holding on to these sites, but it's after they had started the round in not a great scenario, after they had dropped a player. I think the biggest thing in that round, Whiskey, was they killed the diffuser holder very early. It forced the squad of Missclick to try and put so many resources towards grabbing that they invested a couple bodies that they shouldn't have had to.
That's the term. I'll use that for the rest of my life. They invested a couple of bodies in it. Yeah, they sure did, and it didn't end up working out for them in the end. Okay, 3-2. It's the last round of the first half, the first map. And looking to put themselves on the standard split. French Power brings along the same setup they brought. A little bit of area denial with the Goyle being brought out, which, of course, I liked for that late round. And then doubling up yet again on the intel. Now, it's interesting to note that we're not seeing the Mira being brought out, which is kind of been considered one of those standards for that tank assembly area.
The mirror so much, and we saw how well it worked for the French Power squad in the previous round. However, they're not going to bring it. Again, this is a huge round, you have to feel like, for Missclick. If they're able to win it, could end out this half on a really positive note. Marcus the 06, though, is just waiting for the swing, knows there's players nearby, and rises time and time again, has been able to win these gun duels. It's solo falling first again. Skeleton Key will be no longer. Oh!
Jeez, man. Made one, found one, killed one. 4v3 now as the attack team is still sitting a little bit low, but Mozzie does get taken off the board. It's going to be that Dokkaebi call out, making the phone call, equalizing the numbers, as now we find ourselves to do a 3v3, open up a few of that sight lines, take a break, take a pause, and make a new plan, right? Get a grip, get in, and then get it.
Gotta try and make a new plan at this point. Feels like this 3v3, I mean, we've seen so many times French Power. They just have the clutch genes. They are wearing them. I don't know where they bought them, but and they got so many pairs across the entirety of the team. 2v3, not the greatest scenario here for our attacker side, but they do have Dokkaebi and Ram. If they play this correctly and play it together, they go top to bottom. This could work.
Yeah, it's crazy how much of this gunfight has taken place up on this 2F location. Dude, maybe the IGL be looking for. Deleted! Absolutely deleted. Is the Vector going to find one? Now puts us into a 3v1. It's all resting on the shoulders of Fod, who is going to find one, get a little bit closer. Now, this starts to look a little bit more winnable if you're the attacker, right? A 2v1. This is doable. Diffuser in hand. Make the rotate, make the redirect, maybe take a peek at the vertical, and then get in and go for it.
Won't get any space, unfortunately, right at the end. Really good clear from Kwanga to finish that one on out. But we're going to switch some sides here, as it is going to be 4 rounds picked up for our defending side of the French Power squad. As you mentioned, this is kind of as to be expected, given over 2 rounds. Not exactly what you want. Would have rather had the 5-1, but now you get to show what you got on the attacking side.
Yeah, there'll be the true test here. And now, the crazy thing is that Team Missclick, I mean, they're a good team, right? This is a good team, and they only were able to claim 1. If they didn't get that initial round buffer, then you know, we potentially could be looking at a 5-1. French Power's just looking that good on this map pick here.
I would love to see it. I think we talked about this squad being the underdogs, everybody betting against them. We'll have to see how Missclick's defense is. They are bringing, like you said, kind of a lot of that aerial denial tools. I see the Valkyrie as well for a little bit more of that information damage with the Legion Mines. On the other side, I really like to see Buck on this map. Again, I'm a lover of the Skeleton Key, not only to open up some of those walls, but in case you see an opponent close, you can switch to that shotgun too.
Oh, yeah. Not in the realm of the close quarter combat, the shotty is king, and the Skeleton Key sits up there. That is for sure. Now, on the attack side, a couple of highlight picks that are pretty fun, right? We are going to see the Gridlock being brought out. I love the Gridlock call. I think it's a very underrated, underused operator. The flank potential huge. Covering up the sound of the diffuser going down, huge. but the Brava going to be brought on the board. So people like Valkyrie, Malusi, Mute, Mozzie, all susceptible to this gadget. And, you know, a Mute Jammer, which seems like kind of a silly thing to take, but if you have a Mute Jammer and you plant on top of that, you can't be C4'd. There's 3 C4s on the board.
Very, very true. A lot of that potential to try and blow some things open, but we'll have to see. A lot of that counter ability is there, and a great call you have to feel like from this attacking side of French Power. Would love to start out with a win right here, and they played this round to start very slow. Consi trying to hold on towards that little bit of damage in their hand. Nice little explosive, but won't end up throwing it. Again, this is how you want to play it. Take space, but don't lose members. They take out Solo first, and now they're in a positive player scenario.
Yep, going to be a little bit of damage, and Legion going to find the equalizer there as we put ourselves into a 4-4, but they're still sussing him out. They're still hunting him down. Oh, hoo, hoo! And that is going to be the Twitch getting taken off the board, and potty bounce tipped in favor of the defense.
They're going to lose it immediately, though, as switching back and forth. Lots of double kills falling down in this round. 2v2. And Zayrino, 9-1, by the way. 1 death in the entire first half. And 9 kills sitting atop their team. We'll have to see if they can clutch up in this round specifically. But you look at Fod on the other side, a player that we've seen with that clutch factor too. Playing on the low defensive side here in the lounge, just waiting to see if somebody makes an extra step, if they can have that sound cue to play with. Unfortunately, all these openings in that second floor are going to be hard to watch every single one of them. Where's the timing? Where do you look? And sees it. Fod able to make this a 2v1, taking damage while it happens, though. Kwanga, though, only 45 seconds. You really need to get this pick and move on from here.
Yeah, no kidding. So 2v1, like you said it. You said when and where. The time is here and now as he found that kill. It is a low health scenario here as Fod is going to be just mere inches away from getting taken down. Oh, my lord. And it is the world's deadliest game of cat and mouse here as he is just looking to find him, and he's going to. Now puts us into an old-fashioned 1v1 showdown here on the last or back end of the half here. Now, here's the time. Time starts ticking down. That is going to be the diffuser. He's going to start making his way up. Here's the tomahawk. Is he going to stick it? No, he's not going to. Instead, it's going to be the runaway, but he turns his back on him. 1 second left, the pre-fire, and time is going to waste down. Defense is going to win themselves the first round on the back end of the half.
I thought for sure he was going to get that diffuser down and had enough time to do so, but was just a little bit scared of that turn and burn of the 1v1. And honestly, Whiskey, I got to give so much credit to Fod there at the end of that round. Burned like 25 to 30 seconds of those attackers in the French Power of their time clock left, and then there's just nothing left in that 1v1.
Yep, absolutely. Great time utilization there. And I love it. Yep, that's the name of the game on the defense. So we're going to head downstairs to the tank assembly area, and this time we are going to see the Mira being brought out, as that is kind of, we talked about, right? One of the standards you see, it used to block off the, or to hold on to the main breach, and then, of course, one to potentially, I've seen it in a couple of different places, but the most prevalent is watching that EXO. So couple that with the Azami and the Malusi Legion, this is going to be slow down city, baby, population defense.
Gotta get that slow down. Gotta get ready to go here. And like we said, for this Team Missclick squad, nice to start out with that defensive round win, not giving the kind of map point over to French Power. Now, what do you do with this Mira? That's the real question. How well can you play this Mira Azami? You have so many creative angles that you can create the Azami barriers, but also you need to make sure that Nui is ready to go, that their clutch factor can be up and ready. But Zayrino, we talked about them, 9 kills already here in this map. They're looking for double digits.
Yeah, look at this. Some quick action here is Zayrino trying to get in actively. Just can't get it. Now they go through 2 of them in. It's going to put themselves on the double to start looking in as well. And boy, giving away that location, they've got the hatch open. So they're dedicated some investment to this this first floor location. But they don't know what's going on. They don't know that they've got people in right now. They've got Ash here to deal with it.
Good possibility to fight on back with that Ash. However, I do think that this fast rotate, have to be a little bit careful. Again, all that pressure, that retake potential could be there. One-way angles. Zayrino is already very far in towards this site, though. A nice headshot, though, takes down the clutch factor. 4v5, the angles from Pizza TM. We were going to ask, how well could these mirror walls be played? The Bees are going to try and create a scenario. It's a double for Pizza. Add another to Konsti. It doesn't even matter that they have control of the site. The fight is back. Kwanga stuck between a gun, another gun, and another gun, and won't be able to escape. It's going to have to be a 1v3 from Rises.
Yep, and he finds himself in really a tough position here, holding on to the head angle. Hope maybe trying to catch one to kind of equalize those numbers, but with plenty of time, 1:23 on the boards, gonna have to find a new way to get in the side because they are swimming like sharks, ready for him to jump in there.
Well, jump in they will. Pod able to take the headshot, finishing out this round. And again, I just love the mindset there for Team Missclick to say, okay, you can take the site. That's totally fine. But we have these crossfire angles that will not let you escape. Those mirrors, man, absolutely decimating that attacking squad. And now Whiskey, we are all tied up.
That mirror, that was the key. That was the factor. That was the impact. It was a beautiful placement and not one that we see too often, although we are starting to see this put the mirror to look into sight instead of out of sight, kind of being a reoccurring theme, right? We've seen it now on Clubhouse in the basement where they put it onto that blue to look in. We've seen it on the bank basement and now we've seen it on Nighthaven basement. So I guess if you're playing, here's the win condition. Pro tip, and you're hearing it here first. If you're playing basement, put your mirror to face inside sight, game over.
There you go. Pro tips from Whiskey. Better get your notepad out, ladies and gentlemen, and write them all down. But yeah, tied up map here, 4-4. Of course, a little bit more defender sided. You have to think here for French Power. You have to win either this round or the next round. You cannot give over 2 in a row. Would love to see if the step back from Team Missclick, and who, like we said, we were kind of questioning their attacking side. They only actually won one of those rounds. They're showing us they can win gunfights for sure.
Yeah, yep. It's just showing the nature of the map, right? We're looking at that defensive sided map, a heavily defensive sided map, where even if you're winning your gunfights, still just going to play out in that favor. Speaking of the defense, we've got some long-range devastation. New character going to be brought onto the board as we see the Aruni coming up to say hello. And I love the DMR, right? The two-tapper, the no chance afterwards. It's the long distance, and it's going to be utilized right here potentially.
I love that two-tap. A clapper here, but Nui is going to be the one clapping to start us out. Love to see it. Again, playing kind of this switch up of timing, where in that last round, they played very slow, they played on site, they played static on those mirror walls, and now they're getting aggressive. That change up of speed, throwing off the Team Missclick squad and putting them down a member to start things off. They're going to take down that hard breach charge and look to put it somewhere else. They still have time to work with, but without the Ash, I mean, you're looking at Zayrino here in a 3v4 to try and clutch up.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's going to be a bit of the redirect as Gridlock has taken on the battle from the backside on the 2F location. But here it is. You talked about him, Zayrino. Going to get active here, and it's going to see that first bit of contest here onto the Mozzie. Doesn't have the homie for support. Well, he has one, but he's not close enough for that potential refrag. We're going to go out and know where to go. Caught in a corner and put to bed. Good night. The C4 rings out, putting us into a 4v2 with 1:15 left to go.
I thought for sure he was going to be able to walk out that wall, but no, unfortunately just runs face first into it. Rye's going to be able to take the headshot, but the double kill there for them as well. HP not that great for either side. They have injured members trying to limp around the rest of this map. And a 2v2. It's a possibility here that another defensive round could flow through. Nui is one of the players with full health bars. It's actually the only player with full health, and he's got the headshots to match. Why not? We talked about just being able to create some openings, but triple kill from Rises. Talk about openings. They've got one here. The attacking side looking okay from French Power, but so many times it comes down to these 1v1s.
Yep, 9-6 Gridlock. Going to be looking to take this battle on against the Malusi. Is sitting in that half health, but the diffuser is down. Right? I don't think she knows that. And they're going to go ahead and pick it up as the Oh, as the drone gets shot off the board, and there we go. 15 seconds, going to pretend to push in, do a little bit of faux push. Pulls him off the diffuser. We're going to pay for his hubris as Gridlock absolutely deletes after the fake plant.
The timing was perfect. Absolutely huge there. A quadra from Rises to get themselves on double digits and get the team to 5 here is so crucial to win that round. I do gotta say, Whiskey, I might have to apologize here because I was saying Zerino, he's close to double digits, and now 4 rounds in a row he's died without a kill. So maybe a little bit of my bad, but Rises, insane clutch up there.
That's the classic caster curse. And you did it to
Surely he's getting a 10, right? Like, come on.
Oh, I love this game, my friend. Okay, here we go. Now we find ourselves one away from that coveted match point scenario. Going to be the first test, real test here for the defense. I mean, they, of course, did lose that last round. But this is the turf site. This is generally considered the one that you're not going to be the most comfortable on, right? You soak up your win on 1 and 2, and then give it your best on the third. So down to control, we're going to see that same sort of vertical nature. The thing that I think might be a misstep here, and depending on how they're playing, we don't have a castle or an Azami on the board, right? So nobody'd really create that redirect and of the site above. I don't know. See how they play it out.
Love to see. It's a little bit interesting, like you said. I do love the second floor angles they're starting to create for themselves. I love to say also that it is a nice creation of that angle in servers. Always love that C4 throw over angle to see if you can get a pickup of a kill. But this one is a big round for Team Missclick. Can equalize out here. You definitely do not want to give over this map point. And again, where a series where you seem to be heavily favored, this is an elimination match. You don't want to drop this first map and start from behind. Have to pull off that reverse sweep, even if it is only a short one, winning those 2 maps.
Back to the same sort of setup, double drone work. Highlight player here, Sledge is going to come out, maybe anticipating that there was going to be a castle. Maybe that's what they brought around to help support the hard or the verticality. Either way, somebody we don't get to see play too often anymore. So happy to see him on the board. Already utilized one of those grenades and fought with a C4 kill. Going to take the Brava off the board, and that's huge. That means those gadgets, those default cams, they're going to stay. Buck to follow now as we looking for the tie-up round, and an ace the next to be taken off the board puts us into a 5v2, and all on the shoulders of Twitch and Sledge.
And it just feels like an impossible scenario. Like you lost your buck was the second player falling. Of course, you have Rises who did clutch up in that last one, so maybe the clutch factor is there. But you also dropped the diffuser on that third kill, and you're dropping it again. You have another playing that down but not out scenario. You're stuck with Legion Goop, and now all of a sudden it's a 1v4 with 06, and you got to go try and do something, but there's no angles for you to go. From top down, there's nowhere for you to run. You're half HP, and it's an impossible 1v4.
Yeah, Twitch nopes her way out of that one, and she's able to WASD to some safety, and it's going to be the full redirect. And I think it's not a bad plan here, right? Get up, try to take some of those angles from above, sees an impact, which could have ended her life there. Definitely gets out of the way of it. It's the long-distance hold here, however. It's got a huge layered double push to try and contest. I love it.
It's just impossible. It's like we said, you try and peek one, you're going to die to the other, and played slow here. We'll swing the first and the right, and just doesn't have the HP to fight it. So lovely stuff to finish it on out from Solo TM, just holding that angle really patiently. And again, it's like we said, those first couple kills were absolutely detrimental to the French power attacking squad. Sure, you lose your buck kind of second, but also dropping that diffuser again, Whiskey, it just killed the round for them.
Yeah, it seems to be one of the patterns, right? The diffuser gets put in kind of a position that is a rock meet hard place kind of scenario, and that was exactly what we saw yet again. Put it into a place where you have to go retake back the area to get yours. You're gonna lose utility, you're gonna lose bodies, you're gonna lose health, and in the end, they lost the round as well. So we get ourselves tied up 5-5 as we head back down to tank assembly. And we're going to go with a if it ain't broke, don't fix it scenario. I think this is the same lineup that we saw last time we were down here.
Yep, pretty much the same. I think the Warden might be a little bit of the difference, but I love to see that. And I will say, Whiskey, if Zerino doesn't get onto 10 kills by the end of this map, I apologize even more, but not my fault. I don't take any responsibility.
He's gonna get it here. He's gonna hit
Surely,
it here.
please.
Yeah. Especially because 3 other players have hit that double digit since you brought it up.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Right
Okay, here we go.
I love it.
Just immediately inside of the building with quickness, Dokkaebi, and then Dokkaebi to start opening up, Ram to open up with that gadget. I love, probably one of my favorite interactions there. Ooh, just about catches himself a bit of the skeleton key, and that is going to be the DMR to find the first kill. Is Dokkaebi going to get active? Now going to be able to claim those cameras and gain a little bit of that intel.
I like the intel game. However, they need to make sure they play this one a little bit slower. Don't want to walk into the firing squad that they did in that last round of it. So this one is also huge, like we said. This is round 6 for one of these two teams. The map point, getting yourself a possible 2 in a row, especially if you are Team Missclick. Again, starting 4-2, winning 2 sides on the attacking side. Absolutely feels huge to pick up some of those early rounds, but 06 kind of clearing on through here. This double swing, though, is so hard to peek through. Actually gets their way to run on in, so in towards this kind of lounge hallway area, we'll start to get more of that information like you talked about.
But lots of that double swing going on. I freaking love it. Yeah. It's such a good move. You see it all the time, but it's just being performed exceptionally well. L85 to claim the life of Fod is, oh my lord. The 3-piece runs out. It's going to be Konski to finally stop the flow of blood. This is now down into that familiar position we have seen over and over again. The 3v1 scenario. It's all resting on full health. Warden, and that's going to be some from the top, and it's the mirror being played out here, and he is going to find that kill. Hey, and it's going to take the headshot and beat the caster curse. Get himself up into that double digit.
There we go. Finally, double digits for them, but more importantly, it's going to be 6 here for the French Power squad, and looks like possibly some more disconnects going on as well, but either way, I just love to see how they changed up. You talk about going back to that site, one that they got absolutely slaughtered on the last time they went into it, but this time they walk in, they play patient, and they play together, like you mentioned. That's the most important thing. I know it's an obvious thing to say as a caster, like, oh, just play with your teammates, 5-head, but like they didn't last time, they did that round, and that's why they won it.
Yep, absolutely. And it's just been going back and forth. I mean, it has been a war of attrition on both sides, neither team really willing to give up. It's more of a battle than we had expected this to be, and this has made this incredibly fun. And now on a match point scenario, we get a bit of a rehost. It means they get a breath, a little bit to talk about it. Yeah. Oh, the round is getting replayed.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh. This just in, there was a banned skin that was in the round, so we are getting a replay on the round.
It also means that Zayrino isn't on double digits, technically.
Easy. You know, it's more chance to increase those double digits. Okay, so as we get the lobby set up, folks, we're going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the stunning conclusion to map number 1. Ayo.
And we're back, still here at the ESA Cup for our Swiss Lowers elimination matchup between French Power and Team Missclick. Still on the 77 and Whiskey up here in the Casta booth for all of the action, and we're still in map number 1. Whiskey, though, we took a little break because we have to replay this round number 11.
That's right. Bit of a misstep there, as there was a skin not allowed. So a little bit of a replay takes us back to that 5-5 tied up, and next point on a match point scenario. So we head back down to the tank assembly area, and I believe, nope, it's not going to be the same. Oh, no, it is going to be the same lineup. Oh, yeah, there's the Warden. There he is, Konski. And we're just going to run it right back.
That we are. I'm excited. Like you said, one of these two teams is getting themselves onto map point right here. Series point will possibly come a little bit later, but we'll have to see. As we were kind of looking, though, at these map picks and bans, we kind of mentioned that, you know, the squad that may have picked this one, maybe not finding as much success as they would have wanted.
Yeah, kind of an interesting pick there, right? But alas, It's 5-5. Anything can happen. This is the elimination. So as you said it, all the magic, all the mystery ready to be had here. I'm excited for this round to get started. On the attack side, we're going the exact same setup we've been seeing. Bring along that vertical pressure with the Ram and the Buck. Bring along that roam clear with the Dokkaebi and just get started. Ace going to be down here. Open it up. Those main breaches. It's going to get those for free. And take a step back and take a look.
Break it on open. Take a look inside and see what you can find. How about a headshot? That's a nice little find there for 06. Pizza gonna be the first to be taken down. Does feel good as well to get these openings on the attacking side. You have to realize though, this is kind of what happened last time when they lost on this site. They started with an opening, they were able to get their players on into the site, but then they just weren't able to execute. The firing squad and teamwork of Missclick has been there for this entire map. 06 almost ready to take this duel above the hatch.
All right, so Skeleton Key, or excuse me, Buck gonna find, just called him Skeleton Key. Buck gonna find one, but it is gonna be traded back as Nui gonna take Gojo off the board. Found his dome piece, puts us into a 4v3, but still plenty of time, right? Still 2 minutes on the board, enough time to kind of slow down, a little bit of a redirect, get some drones back into sight, find out exactly where everybody's sitting, and then get active. Warden gonna put his glasses on, ready for that next bit of shenanigans down the stairs.
What Solo's doing? Shenanigans they're gonna cause as well, breaking open some of these floorboards. I do also gotta say, nice little shot from the backside here, headshot from Quenga. And towards more of this Mira, again, Nui has a little bit closer range weaponry, so we'll have to see if they can aim for the headshots. It's just not gonna be there. 06 cleans up the board here at the end, and we get the exact same result we had in the replay.
Yeah, no kidding. And dramatic result as well. Was that a 4v1 there at the end? It's kind of been the reoccurring theme, right? It's going well, it's going okay, we're tied up and equal, and then one mistake, and it just, you can see the domino effect afterwards as members start to fall, putting us into several 1vx scenarios. It's exciting gameplay.
It's fun. This is a fun first map. Definitely did not disappoint. But now one of these two teams, one step away from victory. The French Power Squad, one more round for themselves. They have secured this map. Team Missclick will have to see if they can, again, try and win the map pick here. But we'll have to see. We got this setup once again going. We got to see if Zayorino can get that kill that we were talking about.
This is yeah, a little bit tough maybe here as we see him go back down to tank assembly. The problem is they've lost this same site with this same setup 2 times in a row, right? So feels like a little bit of the ego starting to play in here, saying, "Dang it, we know that this is our site and that we can win this map." So they're going to take it a 3rd try. Now, whether that works out or not, I mean, that's yet to be seen here. What do you say win conditions is for the defense?
I mean, just win your gun duels, like, come on. No, but no, seriously, like, you got to play together. And I feel like that something for Missclick, they've been taking a little bit more isolated duels, and that is partially because of the forced team fights that, of course, the other team is forcing. 06 is having one heck of a restart for themselves, 4 kills in 2 rounds, and like we said, not playing together is not how you want to start out this round.
Yep, a little bit of the buddy system. Fod going to be the first to fall early as as the Legion gets taken off the board. It's a huge pick because why? I mean, all of a sudden, none of those goos are going to be placed down. Maybe 1, maybe 2, 3 at the absolute most. But so all of that was just a waste, right? And that's going to be the Gojo to find Nui off the board, as that's going to put body balance heavily now in favor of the attacking team. They find themselves up 5-3, 5-2, excuse me. There he is.
There it is. There's the kill. We love to see it. At least gets onto that 10 piece after the restart comes through. But this kind of spray and pray doesn't work out as the teamwork is coming through from French Power. It's got to be a 4v1. The diffuser is going to be dropped here. We'll see if that plant can come down. Again, they have so much verticality. The Ram is going to be even played for the vertical floorboards. No angle left, and French Power with the clear. They've been BMing all map long, and they'll be teabagging their way to a map win.
That's right, they will be. 7-5 in the underdog story. And it was a good map. Yep, it had a little bit of everything. There was some quickness in it. There was some trades, lots of 1vx scenarios, and some clutches that we love to see. It was 4-4, and then took us the rest of the way. Man, yeah, just a good map. That was very fun.
It's a lot of fun, and I gotta say credit to French Power there on that
Mhm.
restart. It seemed like they talked about in that time they took a like a pseudo timeout and were like, okay, this is what we need to establish. This is what we need to change. And winning those rounds by heavy margins there to win the map definitely feels good. Of course, it is a best of three, so not the end of the road for Team Missclick. They were fighting in that map. Again, it's not like it was like a 7-0 or something. It was 7-5, but it does mean they are going to have to win the second map if they not only want to stay alive in the series, but in the tournament.
Yep, that's true. Okay, so we're gonna get the lobby set back up for map number 2. Sit back, relax, because when we come back, it's cafe coming at you. Heyo.
And we're back, still here at the ESA Cup in our elimination matchup down here in the Swiss lower bracket. Still I'm and Whiskey up here to call all of the action. And Whiskey, a fantastic map number 1. We're headed into map number 2.
Couldn't have asked for a better map 1, to be real. I mean, like we said, it was a roller coaster of emotion, ups and downs, and now cafe elimination match. You said it; it's all on the line, and now could be putting Team Missclick a bit on the back foot. Let's get into these bands. What do you think out the gate? The Flores being the first to go.
I I think it's interesting. I don't think I don't know. It's not my favorite. It's not I don't super hate it. Ying is a super common band. I think we would like to see something again, kind of like the Dokkaebi, the more simpler bands, the Mira maybe if you want to get spicy with removing those one ways. But you were talking about the Thermite ban in that previous map that it was possibly a target ban. I want to see if maybe this Flores might be more of that target ban type deal.
Well, we did see him utilized a lot in that last map,
It's
right?
true.
Especially if you're going to be operating with people like Castle and Azami. Azami,
Yeah.
however, going to get banned off as well. So we're not going to see her played. But that does mean that one of the big two is going to be left on the board. So we see who's going to be this last one.
Aw.
Probably.
Okay.
Okay. So Solus and Fenrir are going to be allowed to be played on Cafe. This is a crazy map.
I'm a
This is
hater.
a crazy map.
I'm a Fenrir hater, man. I want him banned. I want him out of here.
Oh man, so devastating for that late round push. Of course, with the Brava on the board, can flip the
Oh,
whole script. Could be super fun to see, and that I'm really here for. And it's a Maestro, it's a Fenrir. Those are two gadgets, two of my favorite gadgets to be seen taken by a Brava. Now it is tough. They're big, they're bulky, they make a ton of sound when they're coming in to clear these, and it has to stay alive to grab the piece. But if you do, a cam that shoots back, boy, I'm telling you what, that's a good play.
I'm such a hater. I don't know why, man. I hate Fenrir. I'm not an enjoyer, but you know what? They made their bed. They will now have to lie on in it. And like you said, this is a big map specifically here for Team Missclick. It is one they need to win to force this map number 3 to keep themselves alive again in the entirety of the tournament. This is elimination time for them. And you talk about the underdogs of French Power just setting up a really nice stage for themselves, and they could win this one, especially in a 2-0 to prove all of everybody wrong. I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah, it would be very David versus Goliath, and we're here for those kind of wins. It's what especially happens in elimination matches. It's where the magic happens. Okay, on the attack side of it, we are going to get to see the Brava. She is going to be utilized to try to steal some of those gadgets. Something that we did pick up here is the smoke on the defense. I didn't even notice that until the very end here. I love it. And on a map like Cafe, can sometimes lend yourself to a roaming smoke, which, got to be honest with you, I called that for, probably a couple of months ago that I wanted to see it. Haven't got to see much of it yet. So if that's the case here, I'm with it.
Love to see that potential, like you said, to change up a little bit of creativity. And once again, Whiskey just predicting the future and giving us the best notes to work with here. But about 2 minutes left to go. 60 seconds already dropped off of the clock. $2 to work with here. And towards these stairs, it's not going to feel too good for 06. Does get hit by that Fenrir. And like I said, just so annoying to deal with here. The stairs position so strong to clear that out with, especially with all of that utility. Kwanga, though, is actually going to open us up with a pick.
Yeah, huge pick too. So wherever gadgets are open, that's where they're going to stay for the Fenrir. Not going to be able to utilize those. Now, stuck and held in the bathroom, right? You could be on the somebody on the rotate to go up and try and take care of that as they left those white stairs now clear. The run out onto the brown stairs. Geez, I couldn't even get it out. I was so shocked. Run out onto the brown stairs into that held door area is going to amount to an equalizer. That's going to be the Brava off the board. That quickly shaking the FOD down as well. The Legion going to be gone. That's going to be the body bounce tipped in favor of the attacking team.
I like to see it. I gotta see Kwanga step up here in this map. You feel like so many players, 06, Kwanga, Zayrino at different points being able to get it done. Gojo and Rise is also having their moments here too, but Pizza's got the barbed wire to kind of protect their backside, so not super scared to walk up these white stairs, but has to be cognizant of their right side and the swing. Just the Giga Chadness here from French Power. Every single step out, they are swinging with absolute power as towards their name. Now in a 4v1, it is all up to Solo to try and 1v4 this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a tough hill to climb. Got to start with the first kill, and Solo's going to not be able to do so as Solo finds his headpiece missing in that last exchange. That's going to be one for the attacker. And we're going to start out with the Teabaggins.
It's like they know we're watching Whiskey every single end of the round. They got the BM to show it. And it's not like they don't have anything to back it up, right? They are winning these rounds. They are winning attacker-sided rounds too. So it is going to be absolutely huge. I really do love the Doc pickup along with the Warden. So much survivability. And it gives you those tools to try and battle back.
Yeah, love the Doc. Whether you're 1-5 or 99, right? He can bring you right back up to tip-top fighting shape. Not a bad pick, especially as we've been seeing just in bits and pieces being taken off of every single member, right? It's not the, I mean, sure, we've had the one taps, we've had the headshots, but mostly it's that quick peek and then get back into cover left with, you know, your shoulder bleeding a little bit. Doc perfect with that call. Now, down to the basement. This is one of those funner sites to play, I think, on Cafe, because there's so much room for extension on the first floor. They didn't bring anybody really to super aid in any sort of extension, so probably going to keep it a little bit localized, a little bit more to home, but it is going to be FOD getting ready with the spawn peak.
I like the spawn peak here. I will have to say, though, they didn't bring as many tools to try and stop the defense here because you do have both the Doc and the Warden. FOD is going to be making sure they are nice and healthy. Gets the heal and as well gets the first kill with that headshot. So beautiful spawn peak as you're mentioning. But what I was going to specifically say is you have to win these gun duels. Specifically, you are banking on your players to win them, and you don't have that much defensibility other than Pizza and Nui. So those two players have to be very specific where they place those utility placements. 06, though, looks like they want to enter in through these red stairs.
Yep, it's going to send out a flash. It's going to make some movement. Did see him, but some siege timing not going to allow the kill to go through. But it is IQ all the way up on this 3F location. Ash, the only casualty so far. Is it kind of, well, was the only casualty so far, but FOD going to get taken off the board, and that's the rest of that health going to be gone, and some cams given away in the process.
Camera's lost. Camera's gained on the other side, rather, so... Gotta say, though, for French Power, already up around on this attacking side, they've set themselves up into a 4v4. Again, on Nui and Pizza to, once these attackers get the pressure on in, be able to try and defend. That Ram gonna eat up some of those floorboards as well. Looking at Konski and Solo to possibly make those roam plays. Pizza has the barbed wire to try and help protect onto this red stairs. This is on the first floor version of it, but a lot of prowess being gained from the top to bottom verticality here of this attacking side play.
Yeah, absolutely. The roam and smoke. I mean, let's go. It's a shallow roam, sure, but it's a roam nonetheless. Use those smokes to help clear out members that are trying to push, or maybe help execute an escape. Anyways, either way, it's 4-4.
Aw.
And oh no, the self flash. That's going to make it a little bit tough to take on the next engagement, but is looking for those toes, and he's going to see them, and that's going to find Pizza off the board. Is Kwanga going to take that body shot? Now puts us into a 4v3 with 49 left to be.
Not too much time here, under that minute marker, but nice little finding of the toes there, able to sneak him out. Nui, though, is in a really tough position, able to get down the first. That's the most important. Swinging towards the second with the pistol, and no more Mira wall to protect themselves. Beautiful break on in there from Solo with the headshot. You look at the time once again, as you mentioned, 2v2. The attackers only have 20 seconds. They need to win these gun duels, and 06 is just headshotting everybody. The teabag again to clean it up.
Sheesh. Oh my lord. Yeah, looks like that they're not. I don't know. Team Missclick just not kind of showing up here. That was that three in a row cook at the end to put 2 forward here for the attacking team. And like we talked about earlier on map number 1, now the attack team has already hit their quota, right? Anything after this is
True.
Oh no, is that a bug? The LMG bug? Do you hear that?
Oh yeah,
That's
fun.
That's pretty good.
I do gotta say that you're talking about cooking. We're going to the kitchen here for this nice third round sight. Have to see though, like you said, you've already hit the quota if you are on this French power side, and you're already up a map, right? So like anything else you can get is just more to the mental detriment of your opponents on the other side of the field in Team Missclick. However, I feel like, again, I love the Doc and Warden combination along with the Wamai, but it feels like to me, Whiskey, again, you have to win your gun duels. You don't have as much utility to try and defend these sites.
Yeah, and we are sitting in that utility meta, right? It's so important to bring that along, that if you don't, you're just allowing the aforementioned TDM to just step up, and then it's just getting clicked heads. If you can't win your ones, then this is not going to be a scenario that's working out for you. I do love the Solus call. Get rid of that intel, stop some of that drone work that's been so present, which you can see going in right now as Zayd looking to get active. But outside of that, yeah, you're right. I'd agree with you.
We'll have to see how much they can get on those 1v1 duels like we were mentioning, and it has really been, like we said so many times, the French Power Squad, clutch up after clutch up. They've been winning rounds by large margins now for 4 rounds in a row over the span of 2 different maps. However, we'll have to see. For Rise and the rest of the code, they're already up towards this 3rd floor, looking to put in the pressure with the ramp. Again, a pick I really love if you're playing top to bottom. If you can enter through red or enter just through this top floor, it's just such a nice entrance for themselves. Walking down white here is going to be Rises, and with that extra pressure, we'll have to see how the defenders hold.
And hold they will. So it's going to be inside of Laundry and the shallow extension, as Solo going to be holding on to this bottom of this white stair area. It's starting to come down. Oh my lord, takes a couple of shots, but nothing to be seen there. A couple of flashes going out, but it's Warden not going to be blinded by the light, still being able to take that battle. Ram coming around to get active on that verticality.
Verticality gained. There's going to be barbed wire here, just waiting, slowing down 06 on their rotation on into this one, but checking their corners. Absolutely smart, back towards the fundamentals as the headshot so many times. 06 leading the team in kills, and it's 5 kills over the course of 3 rounds. But whose phone is ringing? I think it's mine, but maybe it's the players out in the game here as the 4v4 ensues. Whiskey, there's only 50 seconds left, though.
Slowing down, time playing that huge factor defense, doing a wonderful job at just slowing down what was started out as such an aggressive take. Now Konski to find the Dokkaebi off the board, and that's the huge pick. 5 and 1 now. 2 players on no death start in this round, both of them killed first. First to go. I'd call that one of the win conditions met here for this defense. Now 28 seconds left. You can see Konski got some intel here. Somebody potentially close here, ready to take a look. And it's going to be the trades falling. Pizza to find 2 as Gojo gets ripped off the board and now puts ourselves back into that familiar, very familiar 1v3 scenario.
Rises is done it before, but only 10 seconds this time. If the defenders are smart, they just back up and don't push them one at a time. So that's exactly what is going to happen. Rise is just going to see a little bit of a shoulder blade, but it will finally be the first defensive round win here from Team Missclick. I gotta say, they were putting on the firing squad. They must have brought a lot of ammo with that sound bug.
Oh, yep. Let me put that back on. There we go. Sound bug gone. Done data. Sayonara. See you later. And that is going to be a 2-1 as the first round rotate of the first half of the second map. That's a mouthful. Has commenced. Now we're going to see the second floor site. This is what I was looking forward to, right? This is what we've been seeing across NA and into the EU. Is the middle site play, widely considered the tertiary sites play. Now we're leaning more heavily into it. Still not bringing necessarily some of the standards that you see for this kind of a hold, right? And mostly the castle that you've been hearing me talk about. We don't have a castle to kind of extend upstairs, but they bring plenty of area, and the combo between the Maestro and the Goyo could be absolutely fry worthy. I love that they brought that out.
I do love that. I also love me some fries of the French variety. That's a beautiful one. We got our French team here playing between these two and currently up around on the attacking side. I think this one will be really interesting to, like you said, see this second floor. You have different areas you can approach this if you are the attackers in French Power. Do you approach through kind of those red stairs, how you've been approaching all map long, or do you decide to just break through that front door? That'll be the question they'll have to answer.
Yeah, it could take a little bit more of a site direct push, especially because it might be a little bit more difficult. We are intel heavy, Valkyrie on the board as well, going to lend those cameras. So we're going to try to get some drones down into site and see how heavy this top floor is. The first call goes out. Start sending some tracks out to stop that flank. Kind of seeing this attacking team playing it a little bit more aggressively than you would see on like a 2F site, but played out very similarly.
Played out pretty similarly. I do like the engagement through red. It does give you a lot of power to try and take control of this top floor. For 06, like you talked about, their first death in that last round, and they're going to cause the first death here in this one. First blood for them goes their way, picking up their 6th kill. Now again, you just see the control that they have gained over the entirety of the map. They don't have the RAM this time, so won't be able to rip up some of those floorboards, but they'll do still have a lot of that breach. You mentioned the gridlock before. The ability, if you get that diffuser down, makes it so hard for that retake to come on through. And again, you've already hit your quota. You've already hit your 2 rounds. If you get a 3rd round here, this could be the end of the series at its start.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. You're calling. So, speaking of verticality, going to see Ace come along, use those Selma charges and those breach charges to really start opening it up. Looking for that situation we talked about earlier, fish in a barrel, caught underneath, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and forces them out of sight. So with the hatch open, going to be able to get themselves to drop potentially into some relative safety. So now, Rise is coming in from the back end. It's going to be Cade with that, Goyle with that. Jeez, okay. I can't even get it out. It's just falling so freaking quick. Trade on trade. Kwon going to find the last kill on Kanui to stop the blood flow. Does take us into a 3v2 with 48 still to go.
It's not much time, but you look at the 2 players that are alive here for the French Power Squad. It has been their 2 standout players on this map specifically, breaking into the fireplace area, control over this site, and diffuser in the hands of their teammates. They could get this down at the last moments. Again, some of the area control is still there and information going to be gained by that defensive side. It is a round that they need to win, that they had, it felt like, from the start, and delaying that diffuser, putting some damage in, but the headshots do not stop from 06. They put themselves in a 2v2, and you see the positioning. They're just playing it together, but you look at the time. That's the more important thing. The diffuser just barely getting put on in, but the shutdown from solo TM with the headshot will give the defenders in Team Missclick the round.
Man, they were doing such a beautiful job at holding the cross, getting themselves set up for the plant. But the vertical being had under there, forcing the plant to stop, dislodging those players from the positions, and then the ultimate kill on through the double. Man, it was looking like it was going to be pretty close to getting a defender or at least an attacker. Yeah. But because we were getting that plant down. But alas, not going to be the case. And tied up 2-2.
All tied up. These teams loving to keep it close in this elimination series in the lower part of the Swiss stage. However, again, for French Power, another very close round. You got good control of the site, and I wouldn't be too upset with yourself if you can, again, take another round on what is your map pick here to have the pressure. It could be something that could turn it into a 2-0 series very quickly. However, we talked about kind of the mental for Team Missclick. It feels like they're starting to reset it. They're getting back on track, but this is probably another must-win round for them.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. In fact, even the next 2 rounds, because like you said, this is such a defensive-sided map that if you find yourselves losing 3 on the attack, well, you're feeling pretty uncomfortable going on to your attacking half. Unless you're bringing that same aggression, unless you're bringing that same kill ability for your attacking half, which obviously could be the case. Oh, drone taken down.
We're not going to talk about Miss Utility today. We've been flashing ourselves. We've been, throwing drones back at ourselves, but nonetheless, we are prepared and ready to go for this round at number 4. It's been, again, roof executes, which is pretty much what we see a lot on this cafe map, from going to the roof down to the red stairs and then trying to go from top to bottom. It's a good strategy, and it's been working for 2 rounds, so if it isn't broke, got to fix it, as you said a little bit earlier. For our defenders, though, for Team Missclick, just playing this one a little bit more slower, but it's going to be VOD falling down first.
Ooh, that's a tough kill, right? That's the Legion goose gone. That means whatever he got out, and it couldn't have been much. Oh, look at all this intel being fed right now by the Goyo and the Solus. Now they get the Solus on cam, and that's the call out going. Look for that pinch to start to happen. Got both of these intel ops just making great use of the utility for sure. That is going to be another kill as the Solus is going to get taken down. DMR's being incredibly effective on both sides of the board. Don't be the fall. Next takes us into a 4v3. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Marino stepping back up. Double kill for themselves here, so... Like you mentioned, all that nice information, though, that was gained to Nui. Going to be able to take down that headshot. And Nui's position, though, is so tough to stay alive in. Getting positioned out on double angled. Gojo able to get that kill picked up. And now it's all down to solo TM. Again, like we said, you cannot give over any more rounds. The Valkyrie Roma is going to come through. You possibly still have some cameras to work with. And in a scenario where everybody else is full HP, does not make it any easier. Gojo with the pre-fire headshot there to end off the round.
Yeah, got the yellow ping. He said, go get him, boys. And he was not afraid. The pre-fire comes out, the teabag as well. And that's going to be another round for the attackers. And you called it, man. If they're able to win it, this is now in a very tough situation for the defense as you're going to be going into your attacking half a bit on the back foot as it's already defensive sided. Now, we're going to head back down to the kitchen. Going to try it yet again. Now they're bringing a little bit more of that utility, which I think is a great adaptation here, right? Bring out the Legions, bring out the Goyo, give a little bit of that area denial. Hopefully Pizza get really active on this early drone phase, get some of those drones dealt with. Well, maybe. Drones are tricky. I hate them, I'll tell you that.
Oh, they are very pesky, I do gotta say. But we talked about how that last round was lost. You cannot lose this next round. If you're Team Missclick, that is doomsday scenario if you drop this next one. And like we said, you're already down a map in the series. You drop another one, it could be the end of your run here on the ESA Swiss stage. And I do gotta say, looking at this round specifically at the start of it, I'm looking at 06 versus Konski. If 06 can get deep in towards the map and then start calling those cell phones, it could already be game over for Team Missclick.
Yeah, you want to talk about deep into the map. Look who we're seeing right now. Rise is bringing out the Monty play. It is the rise of the shield here, and I love the call. Right after that shield rework, made Monty a very viable op, especially when you get down to those post-plant 1vx scenarios. Whole team has died, makes him formidable. That's going to be Nui off the board and a huge pick. As that means the Vector is, of course, going to be gone, not have to be dealt with. But Monty already on that low health scenario as they've already been finding ways to deal with him.
to get this Monty down as soon as possible. The double kill already going to go in, and we were talking about it. Who is going to be the step-up player? It is 06. It's already a 5v1. The res is coming through, and I was going to say, yeah, the health bars aren't looking the greatest on the other side, and Monty will fall, but VOD does not even have half of their HP bar to try and play this one. Luckily, they got a double kill. How much more can they get? The reload needs to come through. There are so many angles to watch. Hearing the footsteps through the wall. 06 cleans them up. I think that's double digits already for 06, and they're going to end the attacker side 4-2.
Yeah, that is a standard split, but not necessarily in the direction that we normally see coming. But here could be the case, right? This could be the deal. Maybe we're about to see a banger half of attack, right? Maybe we're watching the meta switch. Generally considered defensive, but we know that this team can. We know that Team Missclick can fry, right? They wouldn't have got this far without being able to click heads. So I'm thinking maybe they're bringing something a little bit extra special, and maybe we're going to see some OT out of this.
I'm excited.
I mean, might be.
Yeah, might be. Maybe not. We'll have to see. I was correct, by the way. 06 is on double-digit kills already on this map. So lovely stuff. They're going to put him on the Wamai for a little bit more of that roaming power. But like you mentioned, it's not the normal split we usually see. It is a 4-2, but it is the defensive side from French Power. They only need 3 rounds whiskey to win the entire series.
Man, it's a tough position to find yourself in. Now, I don't want to alarm anybody, but we could be seeing a little bit of the new operate. Oh, man, I shouldn't have said it. I should have just kept my mouth shut. No. Deimos gets taken off the board. They played with my emotion. Now it is going to be switched out with the Grim. And we've been seeing a lot of Grim lately, right? His intel, his ability to get that intel without having to put himself into harm's way has been absolutely crucial, especially when we're looking towards that vertical gameplay. Send in the bees and then send in somebody like your Buck from underneath to help get that first kill. Pizza going to find Gojo off the board. And that's going to be the body balance shift in favor of the attack team early on.
Like to see it. Again, this is a side on the attack where you have to say, so what? Our opponents won more on the attacking side. We can do that too. You mentioned why this team is here. They worked for this spot. They might be on an elimination point. There's one step away from trying to improve that record in Swiss. To see already a start with that pick does feel good. I feel like, though, you have to take down 06 if you really want to win this round. Already on double-digit kills on the Wamai as well. That roam potential we've talked about so many times is there. Zayrino, though, is battling back. Picked up their 4th kill of the map. And setting this one to 4v4 does mean that Team Missclick might have to slow down for just a little bit as those bees are thrown in.
And there's the jump down, and it's the free cam to follow him in, and Maestro going to take VOD off the board. Maestro going to find a double now, enough bullets to kill them all, and he's pinged out saying, come and get it if you want it. Minute and 30 still left on the board, now takes us into a 4v2. Puts the attack a little bit on the back foot, stuck on this red corner now as the impact's going to start to come out and try and catch him in a Pokeball.
This one's a tough position. There's just so many angles to watch. Sure, you have a teammate, and you'll have a kill. This is maybe a doable scenario, but again, the crossfires are just so good. Rises, he's got the headshots to clean everything up here, and it's beautiful. Just being able to flick on that one, not have to wait on their teammates to swing on through. And another round win here for the French Power squad puts them up to 5. And I would say a round that Team Missclick started out with a lot of confidence, but fell short very quickly.
Yeah, it was looking like like they were about to bring something together, but couldn't just capitalize on some of the mistakes that the defense had made and cost them for it in the end. And now we're one away from that match point scenario again. And this is a defense that we have seen played on the last map as well, right? Bringing out that double intel. It's the Valkyrie and the Monzi and the intel deny of the Mute. Gonna be honest with you, this is a game of intel and opportunity. So I think like this is a pretty good setup, especially for Kitchen. Not kind of not what you normally would see for a kitchen setup.
100% what you would see, but you know, at this point in the map, you got to get creative for both of these two sides. And for Team Missclick specifically, again, it's another round where it feels like you drop so many on that defensive side. You need to get aggressive. You need to be playing together. You also need to play it smartly. You had 2v1s in the previous round, but because you didn't have any of those angles cleared out, it's just impossible to get out of those red stairs. So Gojo, by the way, already starting and taking down the Dokkaebi. That is not what you want to see if you're a Team Missclick player.
Boy, that was the return fire. That was the redemption kill, right? Didn't Pizza take Kojo off in the first minute? Yeah, a little bit of return fire saying anything you can do. So that is going to be the body bounce tipped in favor of the defense. And if I'm the defense, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Knowing that you got somebody here at the top of the red, nobody going to take that shot. However, as he's able to rotate out to some relative safety, he's going to be kind of taking another extra little minute here if we're the attacking team to kind of really suss out where they're holding on this 2F location.
Well, they're holding on down, and it is looking like not the greatest position. Once again, dropping into red, but immediately without the clear, a double kill for Gojo falls. But another player falling towards the wayside here. This could be huge from Rise, is just playing the laydown positioning. 1 and 2 stands up for the double. And now, Vod, this round is all on you. Sure, you're the Ashe. You have that ability to break on in. It's a 1v3, and you're not even inside of the building.
Yeah. As an Ashe, not inside the building. That's tough. So, that was a little bit off the back of Rises here, right? 2 rounds in a row, able to find clutch double kills. Puts the only 4 kills for this map, but incredibly impactful ones at that. So with 1:20, still plenty of time for this Ashe, and it's still a winnable situation, right? You find one, and all of a sudden, a 1v2, well, that's quite doable. It's going to get sussed out on the cam, start to rotate over towards that red stair, maybe potentially take a peek down below, or maybe just do a little bit of a, maybe a bit of a faux timeout here. We'll see if he gets active.
You need this time to talk. You also need this round. Again, it's one that you must win. So much information being gained on the opposing side as some of this more breach is going to go through. Seeing this first little shoulder, that's going to be huge for Vod. Ends up taking down 1, and it's not the player on low HP. So for Rises, it's very important that they stay alive and play off of their teammate. 30 seconds left to go. Vod could finish things out. Has the drone to gain some information, but has to start to go quick. Oh.
Well, there you go. Mozzie to clean that one up. Low health scenario, but Rise is going to find a triple for the round, and 5 for his total. And that does take us to that coveted match point scenario. Well, match point and series point scenario.
Series point indeed. 1 away on the defensive side for French Power to try and close things out. I gotta say, I just really love the space that they've been playing, not only with each other, but against this top floor against red. Every single time, they're like, sure, break in, use all your utility to try and get in there, and then we'll just stick 2 players there, and then 2v1 you, drop in 1 at a time. We'll take these rounds nice and easy. Nobody falling for the bait. French Power playing inside of the site. They don't want to look for any of those spawn peaks and risk anyone dying early. Now, Whiskey, they are 1 round away, the underdogs from taking the series.
Yeah, they said predictions be damned. They are going to find the wins, and they are going, and that's exactly what it is, right? It's not that Team Missclick is going out and losing these rounds. French Power is just very decisively going out and winning these. And it's looking pretty good. So we're looking now at that 3F location, a bunch of hold going up on 3F, 2F for the site. And they're going to be bringing along some more of that intel, double up on it, and the introduction of the Fenrir being brought back out. This is really going to slow down this team, really kind of set the pace, if you will.
I'm a Fenrir hater. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, but it does add a lot of utility towards the team. I will say, though, missing some of that Mozzie utility because Rise is going to be the first one to fall down on this round. It's been this scenario multiple times, though. Here for Missclick, they get an early pick, and it's going to be a walk outdoors from Gojo. That's a chat if I've ever seen one. Equalizing out the player count. Won't be able to get back up those stairs, taking their health bar down relatively low, down to about a 4th. So good recollection there, but 06 is back taking shots.
Ooh, Yep, and that's going to be the body balance tipped in favor of the defense here. As we're going to see the Austin repel and Brava hoping to get active, wishing somebody would run out, but not going to be the case. It's just more of that deterrence, more of that slowdown, more of that made you look that's going to keep winding this clock down. Minute and 50 still on the board, and we put ourselves into a very tough position. A 4v2, a 4v1, a
Oh,
3v1. The trade coming out now into a 2v1. Newey getting absolutely active here, 8-7, and this is still winnable, right? Just find one, get yourself the equalize, and then you're in a 1v1 showdown. Could potentially get a plant off. And, ooh, there's going
oh.
to be the first engagement. Free Fires holds it, doesn't find anything. Minute and 26 still left, Vama.
And it's a headshot from Nui, the triple kill, but it's not gonna be there. The shots through the wall, and Zayorino starting how they ended with some kills. It is going to be a 7-2 victory for French Power. Not only will they take this map win, but they'll also take the series in 2-0 fashion.
Yep. A little bit more of a decisive victory. 7-2 is that's your map, right?
Yeah.
That's your map. You wanted the attack, or you knew you were going to get attacked first. You showed up. You got the standard split in the opposite direction, and then proceeded to just defense it out. And it was a good game. It was fun. It wasn't as close, of course, as that Night Haven one, but a blast nonetheless. And that's a big GGs to both of these teams.
Oh, yeah. It definitely is. And for Missclick, you look towards map one, they fought their hearts out there going 7-5, but they just couldn't find the way on in. They gave up too many of those rounds on the defensive side. And like you said, in a map where we often see it go 4-2, 5-1, even, sometimes 6-0 on the defensive side, it's really hard when you give up all of those maps. I still got to say, though, for what you mentioned for this squad, being able to fight to get towards this point, they still deserve so much credit, but more credit to the French Power squad. The Dark Horses take the victory.
Yep, that's right. And you know what? We just want to say a special thank you to all of you for hanging out with us. A lot of places you could be watching Siege right now. So we appreciate that you're hanging out with us. A blast. I can't wait for the next cast with you. That was a good one, man. So we are coming to the last part of the show here. We'll take a quick look at the standings. If you want to give us a little on that.
Yeah, this is the kind of entirety of that Swiss bracket that we were talking about. The lowers, what we just watched. So that survivability there, more again from the French Power squad as they do improve that record. So we'll have to see what they can continue to do in the next stages. But Whiskey, we've got another game here coming up on Thursday.
Yep, last game of the Swiss, in fact, is
Ooh.
Silent is going to take on Crown Zero. This promises to be quite the game. I imagine a real war of attrition to start battling there. So make sure that you tune in at 19:30, and it's going to be where all the magic happens, of course. Oh, okay. I think we did it. We made it. We're through. Best of three, and it was over in two.
I'm sad though. I'm sad we didn't get a third one. It's always nice to see more Rainbow Six. But like you said, you can come back on Thursday. You can hit the follow button here on this channel if you have not already. Turn on those notifications. A lot of people forget to do that. So you can make sure to catch a Whiskey and I's beautiful faces anytime we come back and go live.
That's right, folks, but we've reached the dreaded part of the evening where, alas, we must bid you adieu. So as the jukebox starts to sing closing time and the lights, they start to dim, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Thanks for hanging out. Ayo.